Dear guests, welcome to the Watcher Poll. My guest today, whom we are going to talk a lot about new technologies and the challenges European Union is facing and we can expect in the next mandate after the European elections, is Orestis Trasanidis, Managing Director of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology Hub in Silicon Valley and the AI community. Orestis, welcome to the Watcher Poll.
So happy and glad to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having time to discuss with us. I'm going to be very precise. When we look back to the past legislature of the European Parliament and the European institutions overall, what would you see as the main legislative files and initiatives that have been adopted?
I need to start with AI. I cannot avoid it. I mean, given my title, I think it's one of the most important one, but not the only one, of course. And even if when looking at the data and the innovation in general agenda, I mean, the Data Act is also very important. There is the AI Liability Act. In my opinion, they are much more important than we actually realize. I know that we tend to think about the key challenges of EU, agriculture or even the defense, that now it's becoming more and more relevant. But the source of the solution lies in those 2 or 3 acts that I mentioned before. So I would like to focus on those ones mostly because AI is the key technology for every kind of solutions that we will deploy in Europe in the next years.
But when we talk about the AI, there will be definitely challenges for implementation. Negotiations were very long. In the end, the act was approved, and there is a political agreement. There is lots of echoes. Many people say that basically it's not that good and that it's limiting innovation. Let's start with implementation. What do you see as main obstacles in implementation of the AI Act?
It's going to be a challenge. Let's start with this. No one knows exactly what would be the implementation would look like, and this is kind of the beauty of all of this. I would like to have a very positive approach to this. First of all, we need to understand the nature of the AI. So the AI, it's a very dynamic phenomenon. It's not like a one-off product. So when we think about the implementation and the enforcement of the Act, we need to realize that the AI Act develops as we develop it, as we use it. So we need to have a very agile systems that help us to monitor and make sure that we safeguard all the ethical issues that the AI brings to our societies. To make it a little bit more spicy, so we need AI in order to make sure that the AI will be ethical. We need AI in order to make sure that the implementation of the AI it's going to be successful. And this is the challenge. We need the right people with the right skills, not just the technical, and this is the issue. We need bright minds that have also the soft skills that we usually discuss, understand the ecosystem, and they are ready to explore. We need entrepreneurs.
But is it limiting the innovation? The Act itself?
This is a very common misunderstanding, in my opinion. We need to understand why we have the AI Act, why Europe decided. So there are two reasons. One, it's that it's a very, very sensitive technology that requires our attention. So we need to have a legal framework, as I said before, to make sure that it's ethical. But the main reason is that in order to have good AI solutions, we need to have a market. I think we can agree on that. And what does that mean? We need to have people that are using AI. But if you look at the statistics, you will see that half of the Europeans do not trust AI today.
Mm-hmm.
And the only
Why?
Because they are afraid of the potential consequences in their life, or that it might be a threat to the private life. The ethical considerations that we tend to. But how are we going to solve this? Because we need the startups, need people, need users. Mm-hmm. Not only that, the businesses itself, they do not use AI, only 1/3 of them. So Europe did the right thing. So we created a legal framework. And thinking also about the US, it's very interesting to understand that also the Silicon Valley, the US to some extent, looking to us about getting guidance of how you're gonna regulate this, because they're facing the same problems. We develop more and more advanced AI solutions, and that means more challenges for our societies and our democracies.
But also this topic, would you agree that AI has been used by especially extremes in order to raise the fear among the people? There are lots of rumors that yes, AI is going to steal your job. The workforce and the labor is under threat because of development of AI. How do you see that in the current moment, and when will that happen? I mean, is the AI the end of civilization?
This remains to be seen. No one has a clear answer to this. But we're not there, no. Now, what is important, and it's linked also to another important topic and another agenda that was being developed in the last years by the European Commission, we need to realize that we lose the jobs from the people that know how to use AI, not from the AI itself. The AI right now, it's an automated stupidity. So we cannot apply it to everything. So this is the thing. We need to have the skills. So we need to explain the AI to the people and understand how to use it. This is a threat, that we will lose the jobs or the business from startups or other businesses that leveraging on AI. And I don't want to limit this in Europe internally, but also to the competition abroad with the US, India, China. These people are adopting AI faster than us, and this is the issue that we need to tackle.
And I wanted to talk about that, how we can develop and how can we raise new generation of workers that are fit for a new age. You mentioned skills earlier.
Yes.
The last year was the European Year of Skills, but what does that mean in practice?
And this year.
And did we change the curricula? Education is still, in charge our member states. Which steps have to be done there, from your perspective?
You're right. The first step is change the curriculum. And I do think that our universities need to balance between research and market-driven curricula. For now, I think they're focusing mostly on the first. So how we can succeed in research, that we're doing very great. But where we have a problem in Europe, it's to put these research results in the market. So the first step is this, to identify the skills gaps in the market and adjust our curriculum. But the second one, I think we need to change completely the approach. I think the key is that all of us, one way or another, we need to start thinking as entrepreneurs. So our universities need to embed like courses or skills and topics that allow the people to think and act by themselves in order to use the technology and create something new. So this is the solution. We need to be entrepreneurs. Either we are lawyers or technical professionals, or even simple workers.
You, as EIT, you do lots of cooperation with different universities in Europe. You develop different programs. Could you tell us a little bit more? I mean, some young people around Europe who are interested in AI, yes, there are some PhDs, but itself, it's not yet essential part of the curricula. However, there is still a possibility to learn more.
Indeed, I mean, this is what we're trying to do. We try to create new programs in collaboration with the universities. In a way, this is where we are tackling the challenge of the fragmented market, which is not only in the business, also in the education. We need to identify the strengths of different universities and shape new programs that leverage on them. So we can have 4 universities working together on a master program on AI. And also dig deeper, I mean, and see AI in correlation with other specific sectors, so AI and health or emotional artificial intelligence. This is what we're trying to do, and give also this extra element of entrepreneurial education. So each of them will be able later to use this technology and put a solution to the market. This is what we have many offers, not just master programs, summer schools, and also incubation programs that everyone is able to access. And
where people can find it?
I mean, go to our website. It's that easy. I mean, Google EIT and you will find a lot of information. Actually, this is the challenge, that we have too much to offer that sometimes people might be confused. But as I said, I mean, we have also local offices around Europe. So people with the foot on the ground that I can guide and help the people identify what is needed for them, how they can leverage our programs.
You mentioned earlier research and development, that basically Europe is doing well there, but that we need to, apply that better in the business sphere. Does Europe invest enough in research and development, and how do you think that this gap we should overcome in order to start applying everything what is invested, or even invest more in research and development and make it work in a business sphere?
There is a lot of debate about this, especially now, because now we start discussing the FP10, the new funding program of the European Commission. I mean, it's a matter of how you approach the problem. In my opinion, we invest a lot, and we can invest even more. The thing is that what we do with this investment, so I will explain you with a concrete example. So we did an analysis of the Horizon 2020. It was the older, not the current one, the older funding program of the European Union to invest research and innovation. What we realized is that we did all of the solutions that we created didn't have an impact in the market. So they are now, most of them belong to our libraries or to the libraries of the universities. So it's not just funding more the research, it's how we're funding it and how this research can have an impact. And in order to maybe help you understand the way forward, is that we should not rely only on the public funding. Now more than ever, it's the time also for the private funding, also the big industries in Europe, to invest more in research and innovation. And this is also where is the problem. So they are reluctant, and they're not aligned with all this startup boom that is now happening in Europe. So we need to have both. Yes, Europe can invest more, but we need to have also the big industries and the big players joined and co-fund this research and innovation, so we can have an impact.
Well, when we talk about investment, how Europe can attract investment better, and also how it can secure its own supply chain. There is a lot of discussion about that, and especially under current global challenges, big race in China, also challenges when we look to the US, India, and some other countries. What do you think? What is the key to attract the investment?
No easy answers. I will start with something that is more conceptual. I think we need to start up Europe. We need to start working in Europe like we are a startup, especially when we look in the global landscape. I have a presence in the Silicon Valley, and I can tell you that sometimes it's challenging to explain the added value of Europe. Where is Europe is best? Where is our niche? Where we're doing better than US? Where we're doing better than China? I think in Europe we're spending a lot of time discussing internally, and we don't look at the competition. The beginning is, as I said, I mean, we need to start up Europe, so start understanding the global landscape, focus more on this, and focus more on the things that we are doing better than the others. So this is my take on the problem. We're doing better in climate, we're doing better in manufacturing, in mobility. I think we need to invest more there to be more competitive, and that will also open the door for the other sectors to be funded more and attract private funding from around the world.
When we are now basically heading towards the European elections this weekend across all the EU member states, but also Americans are going to the polling stations end of this year. You are traveling a lot between the states and the EU. How is the atmosphere there, and especially looking from the Valley?
The Valley, first of all, it's a very democratic state, so there is no much debate about what is going on. I mean, for them, it's already decided, I think, what they're going to vote. There are concerns about what would be the change of a leadership might cause to the ecosystem, but for them it's not a problem. They're not afraid that they will lose any of their competitive advantages if there is one president or the other. However, for Europe it's a critical matter, and I recognize that. One of the things for sure, we should stop looking at the US, if you ask me, and start looking again at the Europe. I think we need to make sure that we are competitive no matter the result of the US. And this is the way forward, either if we have a Democrat or a Republican president. I can be open and share a little bit my view on the EU-US relations. I think we do not receive the respect that we deserve in our relationship, and this is from the fact that we're always looking at the US in order to get guidance or to extra support. We need to look at the sovereignty of the European more and to make sure that we have robust technologies that are not heavily rely on the US. And this is also, then if we do that, then we're also going to have more collaborations with them. Again, without taking into account who is going to be the president. For me, it's kind of irrelevant, and also for them. US is a very business state. They do not care about the politics so much. We only need to think about this. Meta, Google, actually they're leading the world. They don't need to have a president, let them know what would be their direction. Very market-driven approach.
You are coming from Greece. I cannot miss to ask you which topics are now, and you are following for sure what is going on there, which topics are now debated during the campaign, and also which result do you think is going to be in the end in Greece?
Again, I mean, now I think we need to leave the topic of technology and innovation. I think the migration is a super important issue for Greece, foreign policy in general, also considering the war in Ukraine. Those things are being discussed a lot in Greece right now, and I think that will be the decisive factors for the final result. Even though I don't expect any surprise, I think the government will continue being the leader of the political scene in Greece with a big margin. As I said, I don't expect any serious changes. You know. I think the Greece is stable and it will continue.
But when we talk about the EU, who do you think is going to lead the European Union next 5 years? In the Parliament, in the Commission?
Even though I think there was a lot of discuss about this, and we see the other parties are getting more popular in the last months. I do think that EPP again will be stable and will have the majority of the seats in the European Parliament. I expect some of the far-right parties to have a bit more influence, but all in all, I mean, I think that the stability will be the final outcome of the European elections, with some slightly changes.
Thank you very much, Orestis. This was very thoughtful, insightful, and we are really looking forward to see the outcome of the elections first on Sunday, but also the development of technology within the European Union, as well as investment in innovation and research. Dear guests, this was a great conversation about new technologies, artificial intelligence, and the future of the European Union with Mr. Orestis Trasanidis. Thank you very much for being with us, and stay tuned for more.